And good evening, everybody. It's Jess, PCG, and Pastor Ben. MPC Talks is coming at you live from one of the kids' table classrooms. Something's happening this evening.
You could have told them we were doing it from the Hilton today. They wouldn't know.
Well, you wouldn't know because it's just a white background. It doesn't really matter, right? So let's make sure that we're live. I think we are. I just got the alert. Anyways, what's today? Tuesday?
It is Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. So many things are happening.
It's been a full day.
I know.
Thanks, Fernie.
Thanks for being here with us. If you're watching us, I appreciate it. Let us know that you're watching. Tell us where you're watching from. Give us a shout out in the comments section so that if you have any questions too, you can put them there in the comments section on our Facebook or our YouTube, and we'll get to them. Earlier today, I had posted in our Instagram, and I said, hey, if you have any questions, let us know. So we'll get to some of those. If there was any, I have to check. But anyways, we have a lot to get to today.
Oh, gosh. We have so much.
Hi, Pastor.
Hey. How's my hair look?
You look great.
There you go.
He's making fun of me because literally my hair was in a clip 2 seconds ago.
No.
Here it is, guys.
No.
Here it is. Anyway,
Here we are.
Let's start.
It's been a full Tuesday at Mesa Place Church, and it's been a full month, and the month just started. What is today's date?
Today's the 5th, right?
Yep, the 5th.
Yes.
The 5th.
But we're done with September. we're planned out.
Anyway, why don't I start with the usual?
Us out.
Okay, so we woke up this morning with $11,820 in regular cash flow, and then we have $13,659 in savings.
Come on.
And we already paid the rent.
Come on.
God is moving, and I'll give a little bit more
hallelujah.
information on that. We'll get back to the finances, but I know Pastor Ben's got to get to some stuff. So, Pastor Ben, you have a lot to fill us in with.
Yeah, I do.
Well, go for it, buddy.
So I just want to go ahead and clarify, Natalie, she is our intern, our official intern.
That's right.
For the youth
So
group
excited.
and for the church here at Mesa Place. But she's also our intern at the BSM. So she's kind of the bridge between the young adults.
So explain that. You keep saying BSM.
Okay.
So you're talking church language.
Yes.
BSM stands for Baptist Student Ministry. BSM. I've been wanting to tell you that.
Oh,
so
okay.
she's going to be interning at the BSM, the Baptist Student Ministry. So she'll be out there. She's going to be getting training, but she's also going to be working here and doing some of the stuff. I know she's going to be paired up with one of our ministry leaders that we'll talk about in a bit. And that starts, I think, this month, right? So go ahead.
Yes. So that starts this month, and I just want to go ahead and say thank you so much for those of you who gave towards her internship stipend, because anytime this church shows up, it is always a blessing, and it is. It's always how's God going to move or where He's going to move.
That's right.
This is just something you guys can immediately see. So thank you. And then of course she will be serving at the Baptist Student Ministry at the UTEP campus.
That's right.
And
what does the BSM do? I think some people don't even know what
Tell
the
us.
Baptist Student Ministry
I was about
does.
to say, you said BSM. Yeah, so what they do is they provide college ministry and young adult ministry on the UTEP campus, but they also branch out for the El Paso community colleges.
That's right.
So no one's left out. If you don't go to college, you can still show up. If you go to college, but the community college, you can still show up. So if you're in that college age range,
That's right.
18, you graduated from high school, and then, of course, you're in a young career or you're a student at one of the campuses, you're more than welcome to show up. Even if you're a student online.
Nice.
Somewhere else. I don't know.
Or like Dom, he wasn't even going to college for a little bit in between semesters, and he was still helping out at the Baptist Student Ministry.
Just say BSM.
Right.
Yeah, you just need to say it once, and then it was like reference.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So, what they do though, they have multiple opportunities to go, whether it's overseas or they do an outreach called Beach Reach, where during spring break, when everyone's wanting to go get drunk at the beach, they're there sharing the gospel.
That's right.
They're there, the ones being the light in a dark world, and just reminding people, that there is a Savior. He loves you, and of course, He wants a relationship with you. So that's what they do.
And Natalie's going to be a part of that.
She's going to be a part of that. And on top of that, they also do outreaches on the campus where they go and talk with the other students. They share the gospel. And they just, again, what they do at Reach Reach, but here at a college campus at UTEP.
Right.
Nice.
This is where we have sent her to be an internship.
Right.
They're going to train her in how to not just have a quiet time, not just how to lead up in a Bible study, but also how to be a disciple maker. They're going to really invest a lot of time in her. 3 years. It's a 3-year process, and they teach her all things great of
and evangelism
and evangelism, missions, right? And so they've just really upped their game on reaching not just the campus students, but then also the students that go to church to pour into them so they can pour back into the church.
And one of the things that I liked is that Natalie is going to be what we call here an ambassador. So she'll be taking those students from here, those college age students, and helping plug them in at the BSM for an outreach or when we do the lunches and things like that. But then Natalie's going to be an ambassador for Mesa Place Church at the BSM. When those people need a church or a ministry to plug into, she'll be helping us as well, correct?
Yes. And then while she's here on a Sunday or even a Wednesday night, she'll be helping with the youth group. She'll be helping getting things ready for Sundays, whether it be for worship or for studies. We have kids table and all that. So she'll be helping in those areas as well.
Yeah.
Real quick, how many ambassadors and what does the ambassadorship program here for NEOS and MPC look like?
So it's constantly developing, basically a trial and error on my end. An ambassador is the face of the youth group. I count on them to say good morning to new people, to start bringing in the youth that aren't part of our group, but then say they start showing up the first time, the second time. Ambassador is the one who reaches out and says, welcome, this is who I am, this is what we do, and of course, you should join us in all the other activities.
Nice.
So that's what mainly the ambassadorship, I guess you could say, is.
Right.
However, it goes beyond that. They're also supposed to be a light on their campuses where they're praying, where they're sharing the gospel, being bold for their faith. And I'm developing that and encouraging them that. And they have grown. We have 3 ambassadors that have been on the regular faithful end.
Right.
And of course, they're already sharing with me. They pray for their on the campus.
That's
they
right.
pray.
That's good.
They're starting to share more, being bold for their faith. And it's just lovely to see how they've really owned this opportunity of being an ambassador and have taken it to the degree that I desired originally when we were first developing this program.
Okay, cool. Very good.
Very good. What else do you have, Pastor Ben?
Okay, so this Sunday I made an announcement for anyone that wanted to go to camp.
Right.
Now,
by camp, you mean summer camp next summer.
Summer camp.
2024.
Date is still to be determined. If I were to look right now, it says to be determined. Location is still to be determined, but it's always been this Florida location. And so we're going to take the kids to Florida.
That's right.
That's the goal. It is going to be $1,000. You and I talked about this, and I was
a little scary, that number.
I was
$1,000 per student.
Out. Yes.
It got a little quiet on Sunday when you said that.
Right. And I was hoping some parents would have came up and asked me,
like, what is
up with this number? Like, are you crazy? No one did. I had to actually go talk to a couple parents.
They were probably like,
so if
I
you're
don't
still
want to talk to him
wondering,
right now.
come talk to me. But $1,000 per student. This is with no fundraising. This is with no sponsorship. This is with no scholarships. None of that.
Right.
If you were sign up a week before, it's $1,000 to go.
Right.
But we're 10 months away.
Yeah, we've got time.
We got a lot of time.
But we don't have a lot of time.
You're right. We got a lot of time, but we don't got a lot of time. So next week is one of our opportunities where we're going to raise funds.
That's right.
It's going to be at the block party. So if you're like, well, I don't know what to do for my Sunday afternoon, come check us out. Block party. Miguel has really, I guess you could say, stepped up his game in serving and cooking. He's like, we can do more than hot dogs. I'm like, sure. What do we do? And so he wants to make his Hawaiian chicken. The
Hawaiian chicken that won.
The winning dish.
The winning chicken.
The potluck.
Right.
So
Fernie has officially been put to shame, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
He's here, and he's here to stay.
That's
so
right.
Everybody's
We
gonna
like
have to
Miguel.
Really
We like his
bring their
cooking.
A-game.
And yeah, so Miguel, really awesome. He has really like made an investment to really help us fundraise.
Yes, he has.
And
Thank you, Miguel.
yes, thank you, Miguel. We're gonna
So
make
we're-
his Hawaiian chicken.
We are, and we're going to be asking for a suggested donation.
Of
$10.
What do I get for these suggested donations of $10?
Oh, you get Hawaiian chicken
Uh-huh.
on some rice.
Oh, and some rice.
On some rice, and then you can. We're gonna also have some agua frescas. I mean, yeah, we'll have the.
And
root
that's
beer.
part of the suggested $10.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
And of course, you can get a root beer if you want, because we know
Right.
how you enjoy that.
I like me the
you-
beer.
The
root beer.
Yes, and then of course, there's also Dr. Pepper, Coke, water. You know, so
Right.
if you don't want an agua fresca, that's fine. You don't
And
have
so
to
that's
go.
going to be this Sunday at what time?
From 5 to 7.
From 5 to 7.
5 to
So you
7.
guys are going to be cranking and having them meals ready.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But
Yeah, but
There's
that's not
more.
all. Yes,
this is for the youth.
that's right.
This is for the parents of the youth. I'm
Mhm.
trying to be fair
Right.
with everyone that shows up, and with people that don't show up.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't show up and serve, I can't guarantee you're going to receive a portion of the funds.
Oh, the
that we
funds, yeah.
fundraise.
Yeah, you got to put in the time.
Yes.
And we're talking about the
Yes.
youth. That's right.
That's only
That
fair.
are serving.
Yes.
That are serving.
So I have a system down. I'm not going to reveal what that looks like.
Right.
But it's fair.
But it is fair.
It's
when
fair.
you show up.
So
And
put in the
we
time.
review it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
review it. It's not just
So if you put
arbitrary.
in the time, then you receive the portion of the funds raised
right.
to go towards your $1,000 to
Right.
bring it down.
Right.
All I'm
Yes.
saying is that if you went to like what's the Chinese chain? What is that place called? The red one.
Yeah.
Name
Not
of it.
Payway.
By Luby's.
Yeah, I know.
What is it?
Chopsticks.
Panda.
Panda.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't think of it.
Panda
You went to
Express.
Panda
Shout
Express.
out to Panda.
And you got some chicken and some rice. You
Oh, it'd
would
be
not
way
be
more.
paying $10.
Yeah, it's not $10.
It's-
Suggested.
You're
Yeah.
looking at like $12, $13
Yeah.
now. So
But-
this is a good deal
But
Right.
let's say
and a good meal.
But let's say you show up and you're like, I already had my dinner.
Right.
I don't want to purchase a whole bowl of Hawaiian chicken. We're also gonna have
Donate,
some
not purchase.
Excuse me, donate. Suggested donation.
We're
also gonna have
on
some
our property.
nachos.
Nachos.
Oh, I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I might do some
We're
nachos.
going to do some nachos.
All right.
So that's going to be a suggested
Okay.
donation of,
What-
$4.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which that also comes with
pickle?
a drink. So
There you go. But I think one of the things about our block party, we call it block party because it's for the community. Now, why do we call it that way? I think it's just an easy way to invite people.
Yeah, come hang out with us.
Right. It's not
Get to know-
officially
getting
the
to
church,
know
but it's
you.
totally the church. Why do it's totally the church? Because it's us. It's the people gathered together.
Yeah.
I think it's a great way to come meet me and Pastor Ben and all our ministry leaders. It's a real easy way to come in and show them, like, look, they don't bite.
Yeah.
Come. You can hang out with these people.
We've made our leaders accessible, but not only that,
Right.
this is our official kickoff before we go into 2 services, which we'll get into
We're
going to
get into in a little bit.
However, it's just our way to be like, hey, let's get together, let's have some fun, let's connect. Before,
Let's raise some funds.
before we get into the craziness that is the holidays. So
Amen.
please invite your friends, your neighbors, your family. We're gonna have games. Obviously, we're gonna have some food, and we're just gonna hang out and have a good time.
Are we
So,
doing the brinca?
Yeah, there'll be a brinca here.
That's the jumping balloon.
for those of you that don't know.
There you
It'll
go.
be here. Brinca,
I don't know what that
brinca.
was.
Yeah.
A jumping balloon.
The jumping balloon in Spanish is brinca.
Anyhow, moving
Okay.
on.
What
okay,
else?
moving on. So, the other thing I want to also mention regarding camp, not only is it $1,000, boo, but it's first come, first serve.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a
there's gonna
limited
be a list.
number?
Yeah.
It's I have to cap it, otherwise, I feel like
Yeah.
we're
There's
just
only so many people that can get on that bus.
right.
So
right.
we're getting a big old bus.
We're
Big
getting a
old
charter
bus.
bus. Well, which is why it's so expensive. But I will say, getting a charter bus going directly there saves us money.
Yeah.
It does.
So
It does.
that's
Yeah.
why we're doing a charter bus. However, it is first come, first serve. So that means I need to know, parents,
Right.
If you're
youth,
coming.
I need to know if you are committed to go to camp. if you're not committed and you kind of you let me know in like January and it's already full, I'm sorry. I'm going to share this. I already have some students that don't go to MPC here in our NEOS group that said they want to go.
So they're taking spots, is what you're saying.
So they're already taking spots. Yes.
Yeah.
So if your student wants to go, or you as a student want to go, I need to know.
Right.
So how do I know?
Come talk to us.
Yes.
Come talk to us.
Come talk to us. So what tells me you want to go and you're committed? $100 deposit.
There you go.
Why is it $100 deposit? Because I have to send in a deposit for the camp slots. And we also have to pay a deposit for the charter bus.
Okay.
So that tells me you're committing to go. You're going to fundraise, or you're going to raise on your end money to go, and then I'm going to put you down on the list, and we're going to put money aside for you.
Nice.
Yes.
Right. Very good.
So talk to Pastor Ben ASAP.
Yes, please.
Pray about it, and then come talk to Pastor Ben.
Yes. Now, we have a big change coming. Obviously, we announced that we had 2 services. We're going into 2 services, and long story short, we're trying to accommodate the 2 services, which means more people, potentially more youth coming to the youth group. Right. And so we made the decision, thankfully, because I've had some leaders really step up.
That's right.
And we're now able to provide a split between the middle school and the high school.
Nice.
Hey, good.
So I understand. There were some parents that said, thank you so much for doing that. This has been a process coming in, because not only do you have to accept a leader, but you have to train them and you have to get them ready for this. That's I feel like Carmen has really stepped up in that position.
Right.
And so not only does she lead small groups and Bible study discussions over the summer, but I feel like she's in a really good place to be in that leadership, to lead over the junior high.
Praise God.
So that's what we're working towards. And then she'll be helping Ashley, and then I will be helping Eli, who are the other 2 leaders that helped us out, saying that they really need to serve in the youth. And
if anybody wants to serve, come talk to you.
Yes. What does that mean? If you feel like, because it's interesting how people always say, I think you need to do this. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, maybe you should join us.
That's right.
Right? So if you really feel like this is what we need to do in the youth group, please come talk to me, because God's giving you that vision for a reason.
Come on.
That's right.
So come and help us out, because we can split even more. Guys and girls in the middle school, guys and girls in the high school, but we need more leaders.
There we go.
So that means the church is going to have to step up. So if you're questioning or you're praying about, it's like, well, maybe youth is where I'm supposed to be at, come talk to me.
Come talk.
Because we can make the groups and the discussions better simply by breaking them up into smaller groups.
Amen.
That'd be awesome.
Cool.
That's great.
With that being said, you know how 6th graders, this weird age of like, some school districts call them elementary, other schools, it's middle school. It's like, well, in the past, we kind of left that up to the parents. Because we're growing, we have to come to a decision. If you are in 6th grade, you're not coming to the youth group.
Right.
It's when you turn 12. Because you're in this, you're in this weird age range gap where it's like
weird meaning because the school districts are doing that.
Exactly.
Not that they're weird, but that age group. So we're saying 12
years old. Welcome to the youth group. And if you're sitting here and you're like, my child's 11 and he's already in the youth group, come talk to me.
Right.
I want to make sure that I'm very clear. If you're a parent and your kid's already in the youth group, they're 11 years old, come talk to me, because I understand they're in 6th grade. So let's talk about it.
Right.
And then, of course, last but not least, I am part of the EPYMN, El Paso Youth Ministry Network. I was about to say Baptist. There's no B in there. You got me on Baptist.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, so El Paso Youth Ministry Network, and we usually put on conferences once a year.
For the youth.
For the youth. This year it's called It's Your World. Why is it called It's Your World? Last year it was called Why. Why is not a question. It was a statement. This is why we believe. So it's an in-reach. It's Your World is an outreach. So it's a conference that's geared towards equipping the students, giving them a passion, a reason why we need to go out in these different areas. Homelessness, poverty, child crisis. And we're taking a team, and we're going to be talking about the deaf community. It's like, why is this so important? And so thank you so much for Carlos and Patty for helping me out in that area, just putting that together. So he's right now providing the sign language.
That's right.
But I just want to go ahead and say, if you're interested in going, September 22nd
there you go.
to 23rd, you're going to drop them off at First Baptist downtown. And we're going to have a lock-in here at Mesa Place. So we'll take the kids, we'll, carpool them back to the church, and then we'll provide a breakfast, guys on one side, girls on the other side.
Right.
And then, of course, we'll go back to the conference, and you'll pick up your kids there.
At First Baptist.
$25 if you want to go. So if you have any questions
for 2 days? It's great.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. And it comes with a shirt.
Oh,
Hey.
cool.
Hey, swag.
Sold me on the shirt. That's all I need.
It comes with a shirt if you tell me and sign up before the 17th of September,
So it's
because
happening
we
quick.
gotta place in that order. And
Yeah.
so if you're interested in going, come talk to me. If you say yes, I am going, come sign up with me. All right, because we want to make sure everyone gets a
And get
shirt
the numbers.
and get the numbers and everything like that.
Very cool.
Are there any questions for
If
me?
you have any questions too, please go ahead and put them in the comments section below. We'll get to those as soon as we can. I see a few people watching, but I don't see any questions. But if you do have any questions that you're like, man, I don't want to tell anybody, come talk to Pastor Ben on Sunday.
Or me.
Or Pastor Chris too. And they're available to you guys.
All right. I
Yeah.
think that's
That's
it.
it.
Okay.
All
well,
right.
if no other questions for me, hey, thank you.
Dun,
It's
dun.
good to see you.
Yay.
Been with you all day.
Uh-huh.
All right. Next, we're going to bring in Art Marcus. Oh, how does he go through
It's
that?
a good. Do I?
Good job. Just
There you
break the
go.
camera, why don't you?
Awkward.
Jeez.
Could have gone wait, where are you going? That way?
You can go this way.
Yeah.
What am I? What am
I'm
I?
on this way.
What am I? As big as a tree? What's
I
going on here?
know. What is this? What is
Just-
happening
hey,
here?
what-
Hi.
Hello, hello.
All right, great. Hey, look, everybody, it's Art. Hey.
All right.
Oh my
So
God.
what are we talking about?
So,
You saw. What am I saying?
Why am I here?
Let me get to events. So, Art, we've got a lot of stuff. So, tell us what you're doing, what's happening here in the life of the church with you, and then some of the stuff that you're doing out in the community and where your heart is.
Okay. So obviously, one of the things that I really feel that too is the outreach.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And in my mind, basically the way this is looking is there's two like a plan A and a plan B that are kind of working simultaneously. Plan A is kind of activities that are sponsored by the church, by MPC in this case. So we have like the outreach that's coming up, or the
Saturday.
block party that's coming up on Saturday, and then we
Sunday.
have our on Sunday, and then we have our Halloween outreach.
Yes.
That's the big
that's
one.
good. That's coming out
Big.
in October.
Yes.
And then we also do. We're also having something that's happening in October with the Senior Citizen Center.
Right.
Right. That's coming up real quick.
Right. And we'll announce a little bit more on that later. And then we also have, I finally got some contact information on the Child Crisis Center.
Oh, good.
They have given me some stuff that they need. So these are kind of what I get in my mind are kind of that plan A, where it's the activities that are being sponsored by MPC that are giving people in the congregation the opportunity
That's
to
right.
serve.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, Pastor Ben was briefly speaking on that, where we need people serving within the church. Well, this is an opportunity to kind of evangelize. There might be people that are new to the faith that are maybe not sure how this looks.
Right.
So we try to create these opportunities where they can go out and they can serve. In other words, be the hand and feet of Jesus.
Right.
I mean, that's
You
what
know,
we're trying to do.
That's such a great point, because a lot of people will see us go to a water park, or they'll see us have a block party and like, well, that's not evangelism. Well, of course it isn't, if you're not thinking that way. But for you and I, it's always like every opportunity is a time to tell people about the greatest news, and that's Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the misconception that we have is that somehow that we could put it in a nice little box,
Right.
how evangelism looks.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
I do not know. I mean, I was speaking with, I didn't ask Jaime for permission on this, but, he came to the Lord over a bowl of menudo,
There you go.
Nice.
Right.
It's a bowl of
Nice.
menudo that he came to know the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody had put a service there, but he wasn't quite convinced of this Lord,
Right.
this lordship lifestyle.
Right.
And he said after doing some
Menudo.
oompas Saturday night,
Right.
somebody said, hey, there's some menudo at this church. And he says, oh, there's menudo? Let me go. and that started his walk.
That's right.
Nice.
So we do not know at what point God is going to use that particular thing.
Right.
I came to know the Lord through Taekwondo.
Can you imagine?
You know,
Right.
if somebody had told me, well, that's not evangelism, all you're trying to do is practice
of course.
karate, this doesn't work. So, you know, I've had to learn and understand that just because maybe in my mind I don't see
Right.
how this works or how this looks.
Or how you could call it evangelism.
Right?
Exactly. He does.
He does.
You know.
But are the people ready? Like I said, for this block party, are you inviting people? Do you have a hard time talking about Jesus? The leaders will be here.
Correct. Correct. Right.
And that's, yeah. I mean, talk about, I don't know how many people, you know, Halloween, even for the water park. And people keep coming back to MPC because of that.
Right. So again, if you're not comfortable with evangelizing who Jesus is in your life, if you're just like, man, I want to, and you know, people just say, I just don't have the words. I don't know how to explain this. Then, hey, bring them out here. And then you can introduce them to people that might be a little bit well-versed or feel a little bit more comfortable in that zone.
Right.
And then start preaching to them,
help
however. Or, you know, help them through this walk, whatever that is exactly.
That's the outreach part of of what you're doing, the evangelism. But then there's also a deeper thing that is really close to your heart, and that is
correct. That is the plan B.
We got to do something.
Right.
Now.
So the plan B, and this is
we have 2 families that need help right now.
Correct. But just in general, the plan B, the way that works for me is we're all uniquely created and wonderfully made.
Amen.
And we are here for a purpose. And that purpose is different for all of us. Okay, I cannot sit here and tell Jessica, we need to go out there and do this because God speaks to you differently than he speaks to me.
Right.
What we need to do is be steadfast in the word and be
That's right.
who God asks us to be in the environment out there in the
That's
world.
right.
Amongst the neighbors, amongst my work environment, however that looks for all the individuals. So that's really where my heart is at. And then those people is like, now how can the church, now MPC, come around and help you with whatever God's burden. What's that burden that he's placed on your heart? And let us help you develop that. And then go out and minister to people.
Well, that's good.
So I'm not exactly sure which two.
So we have a baby we're taking care of with some of the things.
Exactly.
And then we have some people that both the husband and the wife went to the hospital.
Right. So So we started up the meal train for that one.
And then I forgot to. Congratulations to the Ogletrees.
Aww.
They just had a baby.
Yep.
And so we need to
Baby.
set up some
Beautiful baby.
meals. Oh, and we need to set up some meals for that too.
Right.
So
Right.
tell us on all those 3 things.
Josh
Yeah.
and
So
Amanda.
again, the meal trains they're always active, and we're looking always for participants. We're still waiting for a little bit more feedback from the Ogletrees, and then once we get, let's to make sure there's no dietary restrictions, and then
I know there is some.
Right. So we're trying to collect all that information. So I think I had announced, not this past Sunday, but the prior Sunday, there was a gentleman that was brought to us that was not doing well. I believe he has stage 4 cancer. It was through Eric, and he loves evangelism, by the way.
Yeah.
And he met someone, has stage 4 cancer, and then just as we were setting up the meal train, we found out that his wife was placed in the hospital.
Right.
Now, we still don't know exactly what the status in that is. They're not, they don't belong to MPC, not that matters, but it's just we're having a hard time getting that information right now. But as soon as we get the information, I know that Greg had reached out to me today about another couple. He said that they already took out meals to them today.
Nice.
So I'm asking Greg if we need to set up some more. Please let me know so that we can get that activated as well.
And that goes also not just for meals, but like this other family, we're actually taking diapers and milk and stuff like that.
Right.
How are they doing?
And again, so here's the deal. For me, we are doing some construction work at home. And through that, I've been able to minister to 2 individuals, one a construction worker and one as we were selling the couch. In other words, be steadfast. Like Paul tells us, be ready in all occasions to preach, to know who it is. So pray for discernment when you're out there doing life. And when you're hearing that conversation, ask God, give me that discernment so I understand exactly where you're at in life so that I can then intercede and tell you about who God is. Because God will tell you, okay, Art, this is it, move. This is the time.
Yeah.
Right? So in this particular case, I've had 2 individuals. One was this lady that we've been setting up, and we've been giving diapers and
Milk
wipies and
yeah.
all, the Similac. And I mean, those things of Similac, man, they're a lot more expensive than when I had kids, because they're like $50 a pop right now.
Right.
They're incredibly expensive.
Right.
Anyways, so we're ministering to
Yeah.
them, and then through that, they're like, "Who are you guys?
Nice.
Right.
Who are you guys? I want to know more about your church. I want to go to your church." You know, and that's just beautiful, because you could see it's not about MPC. That has nothing to do with that.
Right.
It's just we're portraying that love. We're becoming the feet of Jesus and the hands of Jesus. Yeah, and that's incredibly beautiful.
Right.
And then another one was this other gentleman that he's Spanish speaking only, but he wants to come to church also. You know,
and
wants
he's
to
the one
be out
that
here.
asked you, when is translation?
Yeah,
start?
when's translation? And I
Well, it
just saw him
starts-
last week, and I said it's on the 17th, and he's like, "I'm there."
Well, we're
I'm
starting.
there.
We're starting this Sunday.
Oh, we're starting on this
That's
Sunday.
the dry
Trial.
run.
The
All right.
trial
Well, if I
run.
see him, I'll let him know.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
there you go. And
Spoken
so
like a true pastor over here.
right,
This guy.
and so on the 10th, we have that going on. But what I was saying is that with Art's heart, if there's something like that, if there's a need, don't also come and tell us, okay, tomorrow I need you to do X, Y, Z. We need to plan this out. We need to schedule it. Why? Because we're so busy? Well, yes, but I think we want to do it right.
Yeah.
Correct.
And so it's not that come let us know. Send us an email on those things at connect@mesaplacechurch.com. We'll make sure to get that to Art. And then we're going to be working with the outreaches with the Child Crisis Center, and then we're going to be working very soon and getting ready and tooling up for the Halloween, which is a big outreach.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah,
All
just
right.
remember that
Okay.
God is he's a man of organization and not
That's right.
chaos. So yeah, and as much as we love to deal with last minute things, sometimes it becomes a little bit difficult to maneuver through that.
Yes.
All right.
I like that.
Art, what else is there, buddy?
That's it, brother.
Thanks for being here, Art. Appreciate
Thanks.
you.
Love you guys.
Love you.
All right. And next, we've got Fernie. I think he's going to... What's going on back there?
He almost fell
What's-
into the
what's good?
wall.
It's not a far
This
fall.
isn't. This is great, guys. I welcome. If there's questions, again, put them in the comment section.
That's right.
This is Bernie. You guys met him on Sunday.
Hey, Fernie. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi
Fred.
guys.
Hey.
How are y'all? How's everybody
Good.
doing?
I think you're the only one that has good-looking hair today.
Rude. Just kidding.
I try.
No, Art was a little sketchy. Anyway, did you see that? Anyway. Hey! How you doing, Fern?
Doing well.
Good. So tell us what's going on with you, and what's it looking like with what God has called you, specifically when it comes to Mesa Place Church.
Well, as some of y'all heard this past Sunday, Alex.
Oh, yes. Yes, we did.
Oh, they heard.
They heard.
Alex and I recently relocated back to El Paso, Texas, after being out in San Antonio for the last 2 years. We're super excited because after a lot of seeking the Lord and praying, and truthfully, the Lord just kind of finding us out there, and sometimes in my own pride and in my own lack of faith, finding me in a place where He really moved and said, "This is where we need to be." So we're super excited to be here.
Yeah.
Back home with so many lovely, wonderful faces, getting to know new people that we haven't met, and getting to work with some that we've already loved working with in the past. So ultimately, just excited.
Right. And I think a lot of people, that are new to Mesa Place Church, or maybe not new, you've been here for several years, don't know our connection. So Fernie and I were at another church where I was working as a full-time pastor. And then in addition to all that, you and I were having conversations about what God was leading me,
Right.
and then how that connected us. And then, so one of the founding members, and actually, if it wasn't for you, we probably couldn't have even started Mesa Place Church. So Fernie was that first foundational conversation where we launched out and said, okay, I think this is what God is calling us to do. And then we took that to what would be known as our core team. Those are the first leaders that we had. And then we all got together and talked. And so Fernie was in that and was here with us for years. And through just a sifting and difficult times of our journeys and our faith walk, that's when you were led to go to San Antonio.
Right.
Much prayer and much conversations, you and I. And then you guys went out there for 2 years, and now you're back. And we just could not be happier than we are knowing not only, it's not that Fernie's coming back, it's just that I think, just like everything else, I think your calling got defined.
Right.
And maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but what do you think?
No, I definitely think so. I think that over the course of the last few years, and I shared a little bit about this on Sunday, God really showed us what the difference was between being in a destination and being in a part of the journey that God's taking us through and shaping us in our calling. So definitely, I think over the last 2 years, it really has been a process of refining, of growing, learning things that I didn't know about myself, about my calling and things of that nature that have really led us to now make the decision to really step in.
Yeah.
That's good.
And one of the crazy things is the last time we talked about MPC Talks, looking at my notes, we all came together. I gave the challenge to the church. We need to prayerfully consider and look for a music pastor, a music minister. And I remember Lori Wrinkle and I talking at length, going, man, all this stuff. And of course, we knew who the fit was, but it's like, yeah, he's gone. I mean, I don't know. It looks like God is using him. And you were serving at another church, by the way. Right. And God was doing great things over there. And lo and behold, it was you.
Right.
And here you are.
Definitely.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit about Pearl. How did you tell them? How did you leave? And what are the consequences of that?
Yeah, so certainly. I mean, we spent the better part of the last 2 years serving at Pearl Street Church in San Antonio, Texas. Great opportunity to learn a lot of different things that I didn't know.
That's cool.
Opportunity to expand my own thought process and the ways that I had done things in the past and things of that nature. Great ministry that's really impacting the community out in San Antonio, and really impacted us also. Yeah. And not only that, but their impact doesn't stop at just the last 2 years. They've been very faithful to pray with us through the process, to step in and support us through the process, to send us off with a blessing. Yeah. And even though they don't know many of you or really any...
Or Mesa Place Church,
right? Yeah. Mesa Place Church as a whole, they've made a commitment to bless us with resources and software and things of that nature that they're using in their ministry, and help us to acclimate those things into our ministry.
That's awesome.
So it's been a blessing across the board.
It's almost like in some of these instances that you were talking to me about Pearl Street, giving us some of those things or letting us use that. I mean, thousands of dollars worth of music material and software. It reminds us so much of Oakwood Church and how they continue to serve us and help us, because they're not servicing us and they're not helping us. They're just part of the church.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. That's just the church being the church, and that's what's exciting about it.
Yeah, and Pearl, we really need to send them a thank you. And so I hope you all will join us in praying for them and thanking them through prayer.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. It's really cool that you shared your story with us on Sunday, because it's almost like you left and then you attained all of this knowledge and you were trained in a sense, and now you're coming back and you're helping us get equipped so that we can spread the gospel and share the good news. And so it's incredible how the whole thing happened. And if you didn't hear his story, you can watch it on our YouTube page or here on Facebook as well.
Yeah, yes, you can. You can watch it. But just click on Sunday.
How was your, meeting some new people on Sunday? How did that go for you?
It was super exciting because there are so many people that we haven't met. I mentioned to Chris at one point that when I was up kind of delivering the portion of the message that I brought on Sunday.
just a portion.
I was taken back. And I sat a few times in silence staring out at the crowd because the congregation has grown to a point where
you don't recognize people.
I don't recognize so many people. Yeah. But at the same time, that just means that let's grab a cup of coffee, right?
There you go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's get to know one another. Alex and I are making plans with different people. We made some plans with Carlos already to get together.
Oh.
Meeting up with some other key leaders in the church throughout this week just to kind of meet them.
Right.
And we're super excited.
Yes, praise God.
That's cool. Well, I think, anything else?
No, just
I know
super excited.
Fernie's got dinner waiting for him.
Yeah.
Well, I have one thing that I want to make a quick
mention.
Please.
Yeah, please.
We have a super important meeting that's getting ready to happen.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning of October.
Clutch.
That's October 5th. So if you're involved in any way, shape, or form with the worship or with the tech teams, and that would mean that you're serving either on the soundboard or you're serving on ProPresenter or on Switcher or anything, and one of the technologies that we use to create the Sunday morning experience, there's a super important and I'm saying meeting, it's not really meeting. We want to sit down. We want to break some bread on October 5th instead of having rehearsal.
Instead of having rehearsal, so we made it super convenient.
Right. That way everybody's used to working together already on Thursday night, so we figured bring everyone in together. Let's get to know each other a little bit and talk about some of the exciting things that are up and coming for us.
And that's interpretation team as well.
Definitely.
Because they're here Thursday.
Definitely.
Yes. So
That's
that's
right.
exciting. So save that in your calendars, October the 5th.
And we're excited. We're excited because we know if God brought you here, God must be doing something that we don't even know what's coming.
Come on.
Right.
You know, that's exciting. That's
Preach.
exciting. All right, brother, what else?
Really, I think that's just about everything for us.
Nice.
Cool.
I'll keep it short today.
Yay.
All right.
Actually, Cindy, she just said, great
Today.
testimony from Fernie on Sunday. She just commented that right
thanks,
now.
Cindy.
A couple other people are watching. Lisette, Alex is watching. Angela's watching. My brother Christian's watching. Hey, bro. Joe Valdivia's watching. Eli's watching. And so is Carmen. So thanks for joining us, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for checking in.
Thank you, guys.
All right, I love you, buddy.
Love you too.
All right, man. Now people are going to say, I didn't tell Art and Ben, I love them. I love them. I love them.
But he loves me just a little more.
How do we mute that? So it's not, there you go.
Just
Because I don't know how to
kidding.
use any of that
Just
stuff.
kidding.
All right. So we have lots to talk about.
I know. Now
so
you
I
and
think one of the biggest things, and I don't think even you know,
Uh-oh. Why do you do this?
my young Padawan.
What?
A Padawan is somebody that works in the Jedi realm. But anyway, PCG, I got some updates.
'Kay.
First is that yesterday, I officially, the church met its whatever you want. On the payroll has been paid.
The payroll got paid?
My payroll got paid.
Yes.
My wife and I.
He got paid.
We got.
Not me crying.
So it's official this week.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
that's been
so
a long time coming.
cool.
There was 8 pays, so to speak, that wasn't happening, and that just kind of speaks to that. And so thank you to the congregation. Thank you for our leadership. Our leadership, our deacons. I mean, what great deacons we have.
Awesome.
They've been
Awesome.
They've put me through the fire. They wouldn't let me move, and they said no. By move I mean they're like, no, we need to pay you before we do X,
They
Y, Z.
tied your hands is what they
Oh
did
my,
to your benefit.
They made me suffer. There was some meetings that were very difficult. They saw the reason why we were doing that, Selena and I, but they were very, very good at saying, this is why.
Yeah.
If we said as a congregation we're going to do this, we need to do this. So it's official. I'm up to date.
Dude,
the church is paid.
This is
all
so
the.
I
the
just
8
found out. I'm not acting, okay? This
Right.
is really cool because
Yeah.
there'd be times you'd be like, okay, put in the check, this one, and then we'll wait, and then like in another week, 10
Right.
days,
Right.
then we'll put that one,
and that
but then we'll hold up.
Yeah, and that speaks to several things, but and I'll get to that. But I just wanted to tell you guys, and so this coming, pay period, whatever that is, we'll be on track with our payroll.
Oh my gosh, that
And
is
so
amazing.
I'm praising God. But when we
Wow.
started, and then I'm going to give you guys the rundown. So if you want to pay attention, this is the finance report. Last year, we had about average 51 individuals
that we're giving.
that were giving
Mhm.
faithfully,
Mhm.
monthly. 51 average. Now, what does 51 mean? That means like you and Jay.
Right.
Well, you're 2. You're not
right.
1.
Right.
And so 51 people were tithing, and we want to thank God for that. So here are the numbers. Given year to date, it's $207,000 total that we received. Average number of givers is 54. We've bumped that out. For August, we received $24,000 in tithes and offerings, and the average number of people that were giving for the month of August is 61.
Come on, that grew.
61. So people are understanding what God is doing here,
That's good.
understanding how important it is to be a part of what God is doing through their financial support. So we want to thank God for that.
Yeah.
The month of July, this is awesome. This is awesome.
Tell us.
Robert Wrinkle, who is your elder, and I know this. We've been doing church stuff for a while. We always have what's called the summer dip. The summer dip is not tobacco, by the way. It's not dip like
It's
that.
not, never
The
mind.
summer
I was gonna
dip.
say something.
Yeah,
never mind.
well, the summer dip. Yeah, this is a church thing that we're doing right now. You my young one. So the summer dip is this. The attendance goes low because people go on vacation.
Right.
And guess what? So does the tithing. And so in July, we received $31,000 in tithes and offerings.
Praise God.
And we had also 61 people that were giving. And so we praise God for that. Year-to-date expenses, $186,000, which is also the increase that the church had to do to pay the pastor, me.
Yep.
So $186,000. That leaves us with $21,000. And you'll remember, I'll go back. We have $11,800.
So it's right there.
Yeah, $11,800 in cash flow and $13,659 in savings.
And let's be clear too. If anybody ever has any questions about the finances, your pastor, your deacon board, they are open books. You can ask them questions about anything, and
Absolutely.
no one's hiding anything. The
Right.
books are open for you to see if you'd like.
Right.
You can set up a meeting with them, and they can go over how everything is broken down here when it comes to the finances here. So
Right.
we're just praising God for all of this good news.
Oh, it's a lot of.
That's so
it's just been
awesome.
so amazing. So, also on that, I just want to mention who the deacons are because maybe you don't know. So it's Raul Garcia. It's Robert Wrinkle, who is our elder. I'll explain that in a little bit. We have Art, we have Greg, we have Pastor Ben, and myself. We're the
Right.
deacon board. But Robert, you see, is our elder. We only have one elder. But within our meetings, he holds 2 votes.
Right.
And so he outvotes me. And so that's where we have that protection of the leadership. And so I just want to thank the deacons for all their hard work. We've had some very difficult meetings, like I said, and I'm just so proud of what we've been able to do together. And we see that the fruits of the labor because of, again, the growth of the church isn't in numbers. The growth of the church, I have always said that, it's in spiritual strength, and we've really done a lot. So with that, Art and Greg, right, are pastors in training.
Right.
Our pastors in training. They've been doing just a great job.
Yeah.
They're still doing that. Greg is now part of the Truett Seminary and actually taking seminary class. And we want to thank the Paso Baptist Association for helping part of his tuition. And then a family here at Mesa Place Church also helped him with the other half. And then next semester, I think we have another ministry that wants to help him if he wants to continue with seminary. So
Amen.
we praise God for Art and Greg and what he's doing. I want to give an update to Iglesia Cristiana Dios de Gracia. That's ICDDG. Pastor Marco, their church is growing. We've helped them. We're about to do some other things with an outreach with them, and so they're just doing great. They helped start up another sponsored church, and so the fruit of the labor and your tithes and offerings are all going towards that. And so we want to thank God for what He's doing. I'm getting Robert, our elder, just said hallelujah because the deacons didn't even know that's
Not
what was
me
happening.
crying over here, Robert. I'm serious.
Yeah, it's just an amazing thing, and really, it was Fernie and it was Robert, and I don't want to cry that we said we're going to do this. It's been such a battle. It's been such a battle, and it's been so difficult. Relationships get strained. And just the difficulty of it all, and to see God move, and you always wonder as the pastor or as leaders, have you pushed the team too much? You know what I mean? Because you see God move, and the faithfulness of all just trying to work together. The whole thing of oneness. It's just an amazing thing, and here we are, and we got to talk about some other stuff, but. That leads into the sermon series that we're in. Serving. And I was watching the monitors as I do on my day off. And so I logged in, and there was a whole family that came out yesterday to clean our parking lot and underneath the trees, all on their own, didn't tell a soul. And it's just amazing. You see that. You see people like Cecil going, I'll stay outside in the parking lot. I'll go and help park cars. And you see that in people just texting me right now and, hey, we need to get counseling. But why? Because they understood, hey, I need to serve my home. I need to serve my family. We need to work on stuff.
That's good.
And so I think this sermon series has just done so many things. And with that, with people that are serving, with people that are leading, you want to show that graphic of the table?
Yes, I do.
You know, that table graphic. And so what we want to do is you're going to start seeing this a little bit more and more throughout Mesa Place Church. And so we were talking, you and I and Lizeth. Lizeth does such an amazing job, by the way. She works so hard. And so that table graphic should be up there. And so what it means is that we're going to be intentional. We want to be intentional in everything that we do. We want to be intentional in welcoming people. We want to be intentional in loving. We want to be intentional about accountability, intentional about being the family, and we want to be intentional about praying.
Yeah.
And so those are the things that as we serve, we want to really develop. And I want to thank you, Jessica, for putting up with my weirdness of what do you mean by DNA? And I want to thank Lizeth for working so hard. So that'll be, you're going to be seeing that more and more throughout the imprint of Mesa Place Church. So we make room at the table. We become one with God and one with each other. And we do it by coming to the table in this fashion with intentionality. So I want to thank you guys so much for that.
You're welcome. And you'll be seeing that more off, like we're going to put it around the church and things like that.
Yeah.
So you'll see that. We have a question.
Go ahead.
We have a question. Is there a 9 a.m. service coming soon? Yes, there is, Christian. Thank you for asking that wonderful question, brother. We are having a 9 o'clock and we're having an 11 o'clock in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
The 17th.
That's right. And so for Jaime and Mary, I didn't mention their last names. It doesn't start last Sunday, and it doesn't start this Sunday. It starts the
17th.
The 17th. Write that down.
Although, like he had just mentioned, Pastor Chris, we are having, and Carlos just told me right now too, we can call it Spanish interpretation. Oh. So now we don't have to get confused.
Yeah, I was getting tripped up, and I was offending everybody at that point.
So we're gonna have.
Well, thank you, Carlos.
A soft trial period this Sunday with the equipment.
And we've talked to all the translators, and I think we can go ahead and tell them who they are. It's going to be Dane Mendoza. It's going to be Vero. And then what's the other young lady's name? Arlene. And they're going to be part of the interpretation team. And we have people that have signed up and says, hey, when they can't do it, fill me in. And so, put me in and we'll fill in that gap. So I want to thank you guys first that are going to be part of that team.
Deal.
You are literally just ask Carlos in the interpretation team what it's meant to bring the gospel to people. And it's life-changing. I mean, it really is. Go ahead.
Like I was telling Dane, because of your services, my stepmom can now enjoy Gracie. Can enjoy.
Do you want to come and say it?
Yeah,
come
here.
I'm gonna have him say it.
Yeah, that was too good just to be said. Hey, everybody! This is one of our leaders in the interpretation. Hey, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, just had something to say. I was sharing with Dane on Sunday, and poor Ariana, she's one of our new interns that you see her there. We kind of just threw her in the fire, but she's doing great so far. But I was telling Dane on Sunday that my stepmom Gracie, shout out to Gracie, English is her second language, and coming here to a church where she kind of was like, I don't want to say forced, but she just had to adapt to the English language. And I told Dane this past Sunday, like, hey man, because of you, now my my stepmom can enjoy the service in her language, and it has a different impact when it's in your native language. So thank you to the Spanish interpreting team for being willing to step up and serve that way. So
now you guys started a precedence in the translation team. You brought coffee and donuts to the entire team, and so I think the Spanish translation, what do you think they're going to do?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. No, they didn't.
Challenge is out there.
No, but thanks. That was very important.
This is so awesome,
Carlos,
that our church is a part of interpretation services that are both in sign and in Spanish. And I mean, that is incredible.
Yes.
Is anybody like?
Oh, I'm stoked. But with that, we do have to talk before we talk about the second service, which we're going to use up the remaining time. We need to talk about some stuff. We'll call it how to behave in the house.
Come on.
Did you ever have company coming over and your mom says, we're having company over,
Yes.
don't behave this way?
Yes.
Okay.
You better behave.
Better behave.
You better behave, or else.
Yeah. Or else we'll make another one that looks just like you and we'll take you out. Okay. There's a couple things.
'Kay.
And this is me.
Okay.
I know I put you on your heels, so to speak,
Yep.
on your back heels. And that is on Sunday morning, we go really dark in there. And
Yeah.
I understand,
Right?
right? So that the stage
It's a
and
vibe.
the vibe.
Yeah.
And then some people are like, no, we need it dark.
Yeah.
Robert and I are like, why does it have to be so dark in here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Robert's going to go like, yeah, we do say that a lot. So anyway, I understand all that. The problem is that some of our greeters and ushers
Mm-hmm.
and some of our security team, shout out to all of them.
Right.
It's a little bit daunting when you don't know what's going on. You
And
come
they're
into a
like
dark room and they're doing
waving you in.
they're
like,
waving
who
you
is this
in.
weird man waving
right
me in?
or woman.
Or woman.
That's right. And so anyway, because never mind. So I said, this was me,
Mhm.
your pastor
Yeah.
said, your lead pastor said, can we have badges?
Yes.
You know, just
Yes,
there's
you
so many
did.
new people coming in. They don't know who we are.
Exactly.
We know who we are.
Right.
But God is bringing so many people. So we started wearing badges.
Uh-huh.
The second reason why we were getting a lot of concerns from our security team, and that is in the kids section.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know if a youth was helping. We didn't know if whatever was
Yeah.
going on. And so he said, well, we need to designate badges. And so if anybody has stopped you in a section because you don't have a badge, it's coming from me.
Right.
But it's also coming because it's a security thing.
Uh-huh.
But second, we want to make sure that our guests,
Yes.
right, which is another announcement that's coming up soon,
Mm-hmm.
our guests know who they can talk to
Exactly.
on Sunday morning. And so we've instituted that. And with that, because of the badges,
Mm-hmm.
we were able to find out somewhat right away, but not right away. And this is how to behave at the house. Wear your badge if you're helping or
Yes.
serving.
Please.
And if
please
you're not
wear your
wearing
badge.
it, make sure you have it in your hand and say, I've got my
Yes.
badge, which is fine. But we
Mhm.
want you to wear it if at all possible. Is that we did have kind of a security breach. Somebody
Yes, we
walked into the breastfeeding area, the mommy area.
Yeah. It happened twice on Sunday, unfortunately. And so if you don't know, MPC has set up an area designated for breastfeeding moms, and they should be able to feel comfortable that nobody's going to walk in. There is not an exit in that room.
Right.
That room is not designed for you to go through.
Right.
Please make your way through the sanctuary to exit the building. The breastfeeding room is strictly for moms who are nursing their young.
Right.
Please do not go through that room
Right.
and try to exit the building that way. That is strictly for moms, and it
Right.
happened twice on Sunday, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So please do not
Yeah.
do that.
So Sunday mornings, that place is off limits. I don't want to have to station a greeter or a
security
security
there. Come
person.
on.
We're doing other things, but I think we can do that. So if you're sitting in that area and you see somebody that is not
a guy?
equipped
I mean, not a woman
to
that's breastfeeding.
do that, then maybe just go ahead and stop and say, no,
Yes.
that's not an exit.
Yes.
So you can also play a part in that.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you see somebody going through that, just please.
And we
please,
had
please.
some new people too, so maybe they don't know.
Right.
But if you know. So let's
Right.
just help us get the word
Yeah.
out. The same thing with the restrooms over at kids table. Those are not designed for anybody except for the kids table, the
Right.
kids that are in kids table,
Mhm.
and the workers here.
Unless there's a specific somebody with a badge carried you over, there was an
Unless a
emergency, then-
security guard
then-
is escorting you to this side of the building,
Right.
it's a completely different
Right.
story. However, we want to keep the restrooms that are in kids table for kids table
That's
as
right.
much as possible. So if you have to wait out in the hall, I apologize, but we're just trying to make sure that we're
Right.
doing things safely for everybody around. There was
Right.
also another security breach a couple of weeks back too, where
Right.
a child was in the restroom and somebody walked in on them while a youth was
Right.
overseeing them. So please just
Right.
listen.
Yeah, let's be mindful. We can serve the church by doing
Yes,
that as well.
Just listen.
We're starting the second service
Uh-huh.
on the 17th. We're so excited because we have Spanish translation coming in.
It's so
We're
exciting.
going to have our interpretation
teams. We
teams.
can
We
say
have
teams.
interpretation teams in
Teams.
Spanish and
That makes our life so much easier. You have no idea.
right. And that's going to start. We're going to have a meeting. It looks like it's going to be the 11 o'clock service is the translation.
Yeah, we're kind of pushing towards that.
So the reason why I'm saying all that, we all have to learn how to pivot. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, if you don't know what pivot means, is that this Sunday you're going to see a little area back there where the Spanish interpreters are going to be. So be mindful of that. There's going to be some safety cones around their equipment. We're just going to have to try to learn how to do that. We're going to see if that's the right equipment. Fernie's going to be helping us with that as well. We're also going to have to learn how to deal with the parking. You know, the in and out in between services and the in and out with the children's section. So we're all going to have to learn how to pivot, how to work together. This is going to be a time where if we let him, the devil will win.
Yeah.
And so we need to be united.
We can't let that happen.
We need to be as one. We're going into this second service, so we all need to help each other. We are trying to make some headway next door.
This is big.
Yeah, with that empty lot. We've presented it to the church starting this Sunday. I'm going to tell you again. My wife and I, we're going to donate towards that parking. We can only use it for, 14 months, 15 months.
God's going to move.
But I think God's going to, I think you're right.
You just wait.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to happen.
We're going to try to do a couple things. First, clean it out. Make some kind of a driveway so that we can get into that area. And then if we have money, put some gravel so that during the bad weather, all that stuff, and then make a staircase to come into this property. So all that, Selena and I have already made that decision that we're going to give towards that. Once we finish praying about that, that's going to be I believe the first Sunday in October is when we're looking at those funds.
So you had told the congregation, you asked them to prayerfully consider if they would be willing to give towards this to the parking. So starting this Sunday, when you go to give your tithes and offerings online, there will be a section. There's different sections that you can click on the drop down button. There's a general budget button. There is a NEOS button. There is the internship button. And you'll see their parking. So if you do accept the challenge and prayed about it, and you would like to give towards that, starting this Sunday, you will see that fund available there when you give your tithes.
Now I want to be clear.
Be clear.
I don't want to hurt or offend anybody. The parking's not your tithe.
Yeah, this is above.
This is above.
Yeah.
If you prayerfully consider it, then that's above and beyond. Don't send your regular tithe and say, well, part of that goes to your parking. No. All those tithes offerings are going to a specific budget. Payroll.
Yes.
The
building,
rent,
and all that utilities.
Stuff. And so just prayerfully consider that. Now, some people have mentioned, well, how is the congregation going to take that we're investing in that space if we're only going to be able to use it for 14 months? Well, I believe God's going to move.
I think so too.
In that person's heart. But more than that, I really believe, and Robert Wrinkle, our elder, will also tell you, if we're going to use something, I think we should leave it in better condition than when we found it.
There you go.
And
there you go.
I've always felt that way. That's kind of how we do it. And so I think if we can make that lot look nicer, it doesn't really matter. Yes, we're going to use it, and we're going to use it a lot. We're going to use it, for all the outreaches that we do here on the property. We can just think about the blood drive that we did. We could have had a nice area for them instead of taking up the space here. So I'm excited about that. It's going to help us also move people in and out on Sunday morning for our parking.
That's going to help a lot. We need it. We really do. So just praise God that we were even given the opportunity. God's in the midst of this and in the middle of it because of how things are happening.
Oh gosh,
it's so crazy.
Yeah, and I don't want to take more time, but the way God just moved,
with Fernie stuff, all the little stuff. Well, they knew the story. It's just crazy. Anyways.
Or like Art was saying, here we're helping this family that turned out to be something else, and now we're helping two families, and it's just an amazing thing when you start to see God move and he invites you to be a part of that. And so again, that's why I'm so grateful at our leadership and all you guys that serve and call Mesa Place their church, because y'all have seen that and have accepted that invitation.
Yes.
So, well, like the blood drive, 28 people.
I know, that was big. They were so happy about the turnout. They were like, wow, this is such an amazing turnout for a Sunday. They couldn't believe it. And
Right.
it's just a testimony to who MPC is,
Right.
who we are.
Right.
You know, we show up
Yeah,
for
it's a great,
stuff.
it's a great thing. And
So
and
anyhow,
yeah, and Carlos is also sharing. We've got some other stuff that we want to share later on about his interpretation team and just a bunch of great stuff that God's doing.
yes.
Yeah, and we've got so much
And
more
so-
to announce.
So ASL interpretation will be there for both services. So that's like very exciting. So we're pushing Spanish towards 11, but
Mhm.
ASL is available for both services. That is just incredible.
And
Thank you guys so much.
ASL is also available at NEOS.
Yes. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, thank you guys. And thank you, Carlos and Patty, for your leadership.
I think
Really
that's it.
appreciate
So
it.
17th we're on.
That's it.
That's it.
It's
Two services.
It's down to the wire.
To the wire.
But this Sunday, please come out to the block party. Come to service, first of all.
Right.
But then second of all, come back, get your Hawaiian chicken.
Hawaiian
And then I
chicken.
was like early on the Cowboys. I thought the Cowboys played this. It's
Well, you
this
know
coming
what?
Sunday.
Let me just say something. So
That's another thing.
Well, no, and that is okay.
It's a joke, by the way.
Well, no, it's just that, you know, when we're mentioning it's going to be easier for you to adjust your schedule.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, people have schedules and people have priorities. I can't tell you, well, I can tell you how many people said, well, because of the time of day that it is, I can attend this and I'm not going to miss my football game.
Right.
Do we want you to watch your football game? Well, no. But the whole evangelism thing is like, well, can we use that, you know, to leverage you to go like, well, I think we're doing this also to help you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was talking to some of our leaders in the past about some of this stuff, and that is, you know, Paul says to become all things to all people.
Yeah.
And so some people, unfortunately, are worshiping the wrong things. And so if we make it available for them, you start to see God move, and you're like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, the 9 o'clock service, sure, if your team plays later on or whatever, or your
11
team
or
plays
2.
early, we have a 9 and 11, and so we go on from there. But I just praise God that we're able to do that, and if somebody can benefit from that, why not? I
Yeah.
don't see that.
Yeah.
as a
And we
big
act
deal.
like we're not football people in this town, you know? Come on now.
I like me the Cowboys.
You do. And that's why I'm always making jokes towards the Cowboys. But
Yes.
I know we have some Steelers fans. And I know we have some
Vikings,
Vikings fans. And
Niners. Oh my
yes,
gosh,
the Niners and the Broncos fans. So we do
Gonzo
have
with the Patriots.
football community here. And it's
Right.
just,
Right.
we're just having
I
fun.
don't think I've seen a full game in a while. But anyway, hey, I'm just praising God.
Yeah,
God's
it's been
moving.
amazing.
He's invited us
Mhm.
to be a part of what he's doing. And I just want to thank the
If
people.
if you serve in any capacity here at MPC, I just want to take the time to thank you for helping us and doing this and helping people know who God is. And without all of our volunteers, we couldn't do this. So from the bottom of our hearts, I just really want to say thank you, because God is really moving in this place, and it's through you. So don't forget, you could be passing out bulletins, or you could be, you know, running switcher. You could be doing worship. You are so important
That's
here. And please don't ever forget that, because we
Right.
can't do Sunday mornings without you.
Right. And our next volunteer appreciation, we've even got some stuff working on that, but we can talk about that later. But anyway,
Our annual thing?
I think that's it. What do
We're
you have?
done. I think that's it. That's it for me too.
That's it.
Shout out to Carmen. She said I'm cheering over here. I guess Carlos Senior is on right now. So is Jason. What's up, Jason? And
Oh, hey, Jason.
That's all. That's all she wrote, guys. That's all she wrote. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you probably tomorrow here in the building if you stop by.
Yeah.
And if not, we will see you here Sunday morning at 10:30. God bless you all. Have a good week. We love you. Okay, bye.